there, it's Joy Duling with the Joy of Membership, and this is the Member Experience Advantage. Welcome back. So this week, I wanted to just check in with all of you and see how you're doing. I mean, if there is one phrase that has been used a lot in the last couple of weeks, it's uncertain times. And that pretty much sums it up. There is a lot of uncertainty in the air right now. And the question that I'm often asked, and I imagine you are being asked the same question, is, how are you doing? How are your clients doing? How are people handling this uncertain time? And to be perfectly honest, I think my clients are a little bit all over the place, and it's pretty natural to be looking around and wondering, am I the only one who's nervous? Am I overreacting? Is it normal to feel this way? Has anyone else found a way through this? Who should I be looking to for guidance through this uncertain time? And the anxiety is probably not going to go away anytime in the next few weeks. I think we're going to be in this for the long haul. But as I look at my clients, I've said before, I'm totally inspired by some of the organizations that I'm working with and what they are attempting to do for their audiences. And the image that keeps coming to mind for me is that of a lighthouse. It just seems like there are organizations out there that are becoming lighthouses in the midst of the storm that is happening around them. And what do I mean by lighthouse? I am thinking that, these are the organizations that are really emanating strength and calm and the, being a beacon for their audience so that they can guide their audiences through the troubled waters, through the stormy sea. But, here's the thing that you have to keep in mind when you're out there, trying to be a lighthouse for your people. There are some things that lighthouses don't do. So first of all, lighthouses know that they can't control the storm. They can't control the waves and the height of the waves and the ferociousness of the waves. They can't actually move the rocks on the shore. They can't move those things out of the way. And they can't control whether the sailors are paying attention to their light. And worse yet, they can't be running willy-nilly up and down the beach. The lighthouse's job is to stand in one place and shine the light as bright as it can, and perhaps be sounding a foghorn at the same time. But right now, when our audiences need us to be a lighthouse, there are a lot of people who could be lighthouses that are running up and down the shore willy-nilly, just trying to figure out, where do I need to be? What's the situation like? How can I control these circumstances? And the truth is, we really can't. We have no control over the storm. We can't move the rocks. We can't control whether people are paying attention to us, and running up and down the shore as a lighthouse isn't going to provide the guidance to our audiences that we really need to provide. Now, there are several of my clients who I believe have just been doing a phenomenal job of being that lighthouse for their audience. And I want to kind of specifically mention some of them and what they've been doing. The first one that comes to mind is the National Foundation for Danish America. They almost immediately, when all of this started, created a special program for their members called Hygge at Home. Hopefully I am pronouncing that correctly, because I am not Danish, so I don't speak that language, but I think it's a hygge at home. And they invited all of these musicians and artists who are Danish to create messages for their members. And they've been publishing those for their members as a way of providing some inspiration and support and comfort to their people. And I just thought that was a phenomenal approach to show that their foundation really cares about their people and that they want to help them through this difficult time. The Cochlear Implant Awareness Foundation, their founder launched a new virtual shopping option. The nonprofit foundation is funded primarily by a boutique that has 2 different locations. And because of the shelter in place order that is in place here in Illinois, the boutique locations had to close. So very quickly, we started looking at what are the other options to bring revenue in so we can keep the nonprofit running. And Michelle, their founder, came up with these great ideas of having virtual personal shopping and having virtual trunk parties. Now, this gives the nonprofit not only revenue opportunities during this particular storm, but these are non-dues, non-grant dollars that she can use this approach for years to come. And it actually offers the ability for more people to be involved with the organization than just the local people who would typically come into the boutique. So I think that is pretty special what they're doing. I also have several other organizations who recognized that during this time period, being able to communicate with people online and being able to serve people through their association website was going to be even more critical than it has been in the past. So those organizations have not stopped their progress moving forward, but they have continued to launch new websites and new ways of connecting with their members, like the Chicago chapter of the Risk and Insurance Management Society. They just launched their new site this past week. The American National Cattlewomen, they're about to launch their site. That should be coming out in the next few days. The Affordable Assisted Living Coalition and the Illinois Association of Medicaid Health Plans, those 2 organizations have really been keeping their ear to the ground of, what's going on with the COVID-19 response and making sure that they keep their members advised of accurate information. And so they are for sure being that lighthouse that is standing there steadfastly in the position, shining the light as bright as they can and helping their members navigate their way through the rocks and the stormy sea. So I just, I want to mention those organizations that really are creating that calm presence that members really need right now. And if you are trying to do the same thing, what I want you to take away from this talk today is that the most important thing that you can do is to make sure that your lighthouse is being taken care of. So what we can't let happen is for you to be pulled off of your strong foundation and find yourself running up and down that shoreline, being kind of caught up in the chaos. We can't let that happen. We also can't let your light grow dim because you are beginning to struggle with burnout. So taking care of yourself is extremely important. Reach out to the people around you for support. Ask for help if you need some support to make sure that your light is shining as bright as it can. That's what we really need to do in this time period when things are a little crazy. So I would love to hear what you're doing to help yourself kind of remain calm and to help yourself really serve as that lighthouse for your people. Send me your thoughts and ideas. I would love to hear them. And I will be back with you next week, same time, same place. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next week.